Hello and welcome to another video. I'm going to be touching on a function that strikes terror into the hearts of many that I've worked with over the years, and it's called the index function. The index function is sort of like, I don't know if you're young enough to know what an encyclopedia is, but when you look at like nonfiction books, you go to the very end because you're trying to look for a word like, I don't know, can't think of any word. Let me look around the room. Party, right? You're trying to look for a word party, right, for this particular book. So you go to the very end of the book and there's an index and you're looking around for this word. You're like party, 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 partly, partly, party, and then what page it's on, and then you go there. That's basically what an index does in Excel. So in this example, I've got a list of names, okay, and then I've got some age that I'm going to put in. And I'm going to use just to generate some fake data, I'm going to use the random function. So if you haven't seen random before, there's a few kinds. You can use the random between, which is my favorite random function. So I just type in rand b and then tab, so I don't have to type the whole thing because I'm lazy. Then I'm going to go lower limit, so the lowest age in my collection, let's say 5 years old, and the oldest is going to be 20 years old. And then if I write that, use the drop down fill handle, and then everyone now has a random age. So this is really good for me as a trainer, so I can create lots of fake information. Obviously I can't use real information from like my job where it's like sensitive and private and all that kind of stuff, right? And the only thing with the random function is as soon as you do stuff, it keeps regenerating. So the way around this is if you copy these values, okay, and then you paste as values, it just locks them in like that. Okay, step 2, the actual index function. What I want to do is, for a list of names of my choosing, I want to extract their age, but I don't want to manually go through the list. I want Excel to do that for me. So I'm going to pick 3 names. I'm going to pick Julia, I'm going to pick Emma, and let's pick a boy, Riley. Okay, and I want to grab their age. Okay, so again, instead of manually, I'm going to do index. So there are 3 parts to an index function. Actually, there's 2 formulas that make up the index that I prefer to use. Okay, I don't ever use index and match separately in my line of work. They're always together. So let's begin, and I will go very slowly and we'll do it a few times so you get the hang of it. Index, bracket. You want to start with where you're gonna, what data you want to extract over. Okay, so it's going to be age. So I'm going to go ahead and select the entire thing. Okay, like so. Again, this is kind of like a more advanced topic. All right, so that's where I'm going to grab it from, comma. And now I need to know which row number to grab it from. Okay, and this is where the match function comes in. So if I go match, okay, the match function is going to tell me a position when the names match. All right, so I'm going to pick the name I'm looking for, comma, the names I'm looking in, right, or the list of names, like so. All right, hopefully I didn't lose anybody. And then what I do is comma 0 to tell the function to find me an exact match, because this is kind of sometimes a financial tool, so it's going to look for the closest match. But I don't want that. I just want the exact match. So I do comma 0. And then for the index, I also want an exact match. So column 0. All right. Like so. And I press enter. And it's going to extract Julia's age for me. So let's look around. Julia is 18. Okay. Now the last thing is this 0. Actually, no. From memory, this isn't a exact match. This has got to do with a column number, which is like an added feature. So I always leave that as 0 as the first position. All right, now I can copy this down, but it's going to have an issue. If I copy this down to the next person, it looks fine, but when I double click, you notice that it's moved, right? So what you have to do with this particular formula is lock the positions of where you're referencing. So the way to do that is I go back in and I highlight this and I press F4 on my keyboard, and I'll bring a picture of that up right now. You can see. All right, and as you press F4, it cycles through what's called absolute referencing, right? If you're not sure what that is, I'll show you a video. I'll have a video on it, right? And I want to lock down the first one and the last one. That's so that wherever I'm looking, the list I'm looking, it's always the same place I'm looking. So now if I press enter, copy that formula down, right? No matter what, it always references the correct position. Okay, so let's do that again from scratch, just so you guys get used to it. Again, I always start with what I'm trying to extract over. Okay, so this list, and I don't have to do the absolute referencing at the end. I can do it straight away. So again, I can press F4. It will lock that list for me, comma, match the value I'm looking for, so Julia, comma, and then where that value is going to be. Okay, F4, comma, 0, bracket, comma, 0 for the first column. Okay, copy it over, and there we go. All right, so this is just one application of the index function. There are other lookups. You have HLOOKUP, you have VLOOKUPs. Index is sort of like my bread and butter. That's what I use 99% of the time. I rarely ever use VLOOKUP. I just don't think it's as good, right, in terms of my line of work. People will disagree. So that is index function. So I hope you enjoyed. If you still didn't get it, let me know and I'll do some more videos on this stuff to explain it more in detail. All right, see you next time.